What is going on, everyone? My name is Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology retold action in the bottom of the map. Playing as Fushi now, his name is 3DB. His opponent today in the red color, playing as Shenong, his name is Kimo. So we will be watching a Shenong versus Fushi game today, as we are excitedly taking furious notes about what 3DB is coming up with from a strategic standpoint here. He is one of the players, I think, who pushes the meta forward the fastest. He definitely tries things out a lot, and he tries them out really, really heavily. He goes, I like this, let's try this. Okay, it works here, it doesn't work here, it works here, it doesn't work here. And he goes, I like this, it works here, it doesn't work here, etc., etc., etc. He's an incredibly powerful RTS player in general. I know he does play on Age of Empires 4 as well, and has success over there in the top levels. So I'm excited to see him compete in the upcoming EGCTV Immortal Pillars DLC tournament. So we'll see how it's going to go as he does drop his temple down. It's just going to be a quick advance time, it looks like here. The one thing that I think is scary from Fushi's side, that I think a lot of players will maybe understand, maybe not understand, is, you know, this Peach Blossom Spring, you can gather this whenever you want. The whole idea of this Peach Blossom Spring on its surface is timing attacks. So if I can grab my Peach Blossom Spring at 4 minutes, just before 4 minutes, right? So when I advance to the classical age, get a huge power spike before my yin and yang swaps to become more military focused and less economic focused. Or I can grab it at, say, just before 12 minutes so that I can go and do a big attack at 12 minutes with my yin and yang. That's like where it's at its most powerful. So whether you're going to do that with like a grab all the resources, advance to the heroic age, grab all the resources, advance to the mythic age, or grab all those resources and just spam out a ton of units, that's up to you. But that's like what makes the most sense for me. So we'll see if 3DB is going to go for that in any way, shape, or form. It looks like he's going to be getting himself out a Kualfu here, which is quite standard, I would say, for all of what 3DB's been doing. He did do some Shenong shenanigans where he dropped a couple of farms early and uses his Prosperous Seeds. We aren't seeing that from Kimo. Kimo a little bit more in the Ra school of things, where it says, just because you can drop a farm doesn't mean you should drop a farm. We got Eric saying, just use a mythic timing, like that means anything. Like every other timing you can hit is much before a mythic age. So if you want to rely on that, you can. But if you do that, there's going to be a lot of timings that will potentially kill you. So fast mythics on the surface seem very, very strong. But when you actually play against very strong players, they will start beating you. With the exception of Noir, who is broken. But we'll see how the game's going to go. As Chiyo going to come through here for Kimo. And we are going to be seeing Zhennu. I got it. Zhennu. So Zhennu is one of those gods that we haven't really seen a lot from, but I do think there's a crazy amount of potential in this god. So, for example, one really ridiculous combo you can do. I'm not sure if Fushi has this combo, actually. Let me have a look. Yeah, he doesn't. But if you go with Shenong, no, not Shenong. If you go with Noir and you grab yourself Vanish and Fey Beasts, all of a sudden, your Fey Beasts cannot get killed because they are invisible. They do not attack, but they're doing damage. And everything dies around them. So, I mean, that is probably... I'm surprised we haven't seen it yet. We're seeing everybody wasting time with this how-to sort of shenanigans, which is obviously quite strong as well. But the real power is, if you want to be as cheesy as possible, vanish Fey Beasts in my opponent's base, run around and kill everything. Good luck. Good luck holding on there. It's pretty broken. But nonetheless, I'm excited to see what 3DB is going to come up with in this game. As he's just getting some villagers out. He's just getting a second town center. Putting the silo down. Kimo's also just grabbing his own second town center. He's playing a little bit more cautiously than 3DB is at the moment. Like, this is kind of stock standard Kimo though. Like, every time I watch him, he puts himself slightly behind by being overly cautious. And this is just like he's playing around a bunch of like random kind of cheesy ideas that his opponent can do, and he says, look, I would rather take a 2-villager loss, overall loss, and get my town set a little bit later than, excuse me, than anything else. You know when you get something just like weird in your mouth? Something weird went into my mouth. I don't know what it was. Anyways. Let's see how this game is going to turn out. A couple of farms to come here. Cricket, yes, Cricket's re-entered my room. The legendary live streamed extermination of crickets of 2025. But just a little bit of a boom thing going on here to kick the game off. I'm still a little bit confused as to which angle B's going, but no real food in the bank, just putting everyone onto food. Hasn't really spent any favor just yet in this game. You see a cheeky little Cheongchi to come through. It's not going to get any real kills, just a little bit of idle time. And yeah, basically 3DB here is losing out on this Yang technology here by not really doing anything during this. It doesn't really show up in the stats, but you can see that this Pioneer normally has a little bit less stats, but during the Yang, not the Ying, during the Yang here, you want to go and attack your opponent if you can, is my guess. But not seeing that just yet. As the villager's going to swing around here and jump onto those Aurochs, doing all the good stuff there. We do see the son of Long. I need to work out how that's pronounced, because I just don't know. Hang on, let's have a quick Google Translate.
Long.
It's just Long. Okay. Son of Long. So what makes sense here, I guess, for 3DB is he is planning on using all of this favor either in the Heroic Age or in the Mythic Age. Because you've got a finite... Like, if you remember back to, like, Legacy Aranos, for example, Legacy Atlantean, or even Legacy everything, Egyptian, right? You have a finite amount of favor. So when you choose to use your favor actually matters quite a lot. So on the one hand, you could say, all right, I've got to spend it all straight away because it's in my bank. But on the other hand, it's not like another resource because you can only get a certain amount of myth units out. So if 3DB here, if his plan is to do something here with Nubar, which does give him those Tao Tais or Tao Tier, you could get a whole bunch of them out now. We'll see if that's what he's going to go for or not, because obviously he's got something in here up his sleeve. He's going to be still leaving that Peach Blossom Spring, going to be waiting on that one. Still a huge amount of resources to come in. It is very, very comparable to... It's probably a little bit worse in terms of income, is my guess, than Prosperity. Villagers collect from it 75% faster. Right, so, I mean, it's a little bit worse than, say, Prosperity. Maybe it's not, actually. Prosperity is 60%, is it? Hang on. Maybe it's a little bit better than Prosperity. Oh, no, Villagers are 80%. So it's a little bit worse than Prosperity, plus the peasants are gathering a little bit slower on that as well. But nonetheless, still very, very quick, and you're generating resources in your base. So it's really, really good. He does decide to start... Wait, is he gathering it? No, he's just chopping down the tree next to it. Okay, but we are going to be seeing the Rush Shulk coming in, and Chemo is going to be looking for some sort of Fade Beast shenanigans onto the economy here. At this point, I've resigned myself to just saying, look, I'm probably going to lose some villagers. Let me just try and spread my villages out as much as possible and try and be as quick as I can to garrison them when the when the Fey Beast comes down. I think that's the only way to go. And we do indeed see that 3DB, he wants some Tao Tier. And I think, knowing 3DB, I'm starting to learn what he likes and what he doesn't. I think he is going to be very much excited to be utilizing this special ability to clean units up in bulk. He sees the area of effect damage and he says, hey, I can use that. And he's going to make a bunch of these bad boys and see what he can do. Qualfu's just going to be dropping some houses. We see another Tao Tier out. And how much do these cost? I mean, they're relatively cheap. 280 gold. The favor is technically, it's not free because you have to move the villager around to build the building in the right spot. But it is, I mean, it's as free. It's not quite as free as like Norse favor, but it's definitely a lot more free than everything else. As Fey Beast does come down and 3DB going to be losing a handful of villagers here. I actually don't think this was, given the state of this gold power, I don't think this was that bad. There's another one. And yeah, I don't think that was that bad. I think the 3DB is going to be like, whatever. I got the stronger myth units, and I'm now going to go for a big attack as he's going to be charging in here. At the moment, there's not really that many heroes that we see. One Sage from Chemo as the Vanish comes through. Oh, does he have Crushed? He has Crush damage. He can Drought this. He can click Drought and just erase this town center immediately. And this has been the plan all along. All of the units now charging in that hometown center is going to get torn to shreds as the Baihu coming through. We see the Mumu coming in as well, but now those Tao Tier can start spamming out that special ability. Villagers are going to be going down on the back here as well, as the Pioneers will be able to deal with a lot of Chemo's units. Chemo at the moment, he's going Mythic Age. He went for the Mythic Age. He did the fast Mythic, and now he's been hit with a beautiful timing from 3DB, and this is just gigantic damage being inflicted here as the Yatsu coming through, going to try and deny this. A little bit too slow on taking the Bao lay down there during the drought, so he's not going to be able to kill both of those, but still charging in here. He's got all of those special abilities he can start throwing down if he wants to, but he wants to clean up the Bao lay first. But a lot of units here for 3DB will be falling, it looks like. As he does turn around, he does start spitting out those special abilities. Another Mumu coming through from the Sage as more units to come forward here for 3DB. And the end here, look at the villager differential. There is a gigantic advantage that has been cooked up here from 3DB. But we'll see if this Mythic Age coming through now for Chemo is going to level the playing field, as 3DB did just lose a lot of units. He still has his Peach Blossom Spring in his main base, but that's not going to be getting grabbed anytime soon. But such an awesome timing here. This is exactly the sort of thing I expect from Fushi. I mean, I think he got that in on the Yang as well. That was on the Yang. Also, he did get Rock Solid, so those Tao Tiers were tanky AF. But now he's out of favor. He has to retreat back. As we do see the Blazing Prairie going to get dropped down onto this spot, but realistically, losing this town center, maybe a couple of houses, that's not the worst thing in the world for a Mythic Age God Power. And 3DB can always go for Gong Gong, get a Great Flood, get a huge amount of damage a little bit later as well. He does not need to get the town center back. He's got such a huge villager advantage. He almost just needs to sit back and wait. Gets himself out the Neja as well over here. Because that's going to be getting some good damage done. Villagers coming over onto the gold mine. And 3DB pushing back for the time being. He's got a military advantage. He's got an economic advantage. The only thing that he's behind in at the moment is town centers. But Chemo here, he's going to try and rebuild. He's got to feel like he's in a good position right now. I don't exactly know if he's in a good position because he's got Quailfu out. He did lose quite a few. I mean, at the moment, he's got 1, 2, 3 Quailfu that I can see, as opposed to B, who I'm sure is basically pure peasants. he sees the design of China and he says, look, Guaofu, it's too challenging. I don't understand. It costs favor. I want to build myth units. I'm playing Age of Mythology, not Age of Guaofu-ology, okay? I want to build myth units. And he says, great, we're just going to build them. We're just going to get peasants and myth units. So we'll see if he's going to go to the Mythic Age now and then start spamming out those Chongqis. No, not Chongqi. The Long boys. The Longy boys. So yeah, I've got some White Horse Cavalry. Going to be looking for the raids. A Qinglong, that's what it is. I'm getting there. We're starting to remember things. I wasn't close. Qinglong. So villagers do decide to turn around South Shank, and they do have their survival equipment, so surviving for a much longer time, getting some good damage done. A couple of those halberdiers are out to deal with these bad boys, and he doesn't have... Wait, does he? No. There's no... You have to go through Chiyao to get that... To get that thingamajig. The extra snap. Now we see a third town center coming through for Chemo. As 3DB just going to be spamming units up, looking to push forward. And we are going to be seeing Mastery of Weaponry. That's the technology I was talking about there for Chemo. I'm not sure he's planning on building any halberdier, but just in case he needs to. As 3DB going to claim his third town center. He still hasn't clicked on this. Oh, yeah, now he has. He's clicked on the Peach Blossom Spring. He's got himself into Yin, right? I think he's in Yin right now, so he's gathering much faster than normal. If you take a look at these villages, 1.08 over here at Bosaw, and over here this is 1 at Bosaw as well. So yeah, he's got that boosted economy, so he's going to be able to grab this even faster. I love the decision making here from 3DB, but I want to see him try and get to the Mythic Age here pretty quickly. He doesn't have any sages out. He does have that Jiang Xia. Not exactly sure. But he's going to need something here to deal with what's coming his way. He's going to need some heroes. And he is going to start making those sages. Like, the best thing to do against this guy as China, the Qinglong, is to get a sage out and then immediately moo the Qinglong and then use that special on your opponent's army. Because it does so much damage, and basically the Qinglong is really forward powered. So the initial damage it does, this thing here, the initial damage that does is everything. After that, doesn't really do that much damage. Like this jet wave thing it's shooting isn't really that good for a Mythic Age unit. It's all his powers in that special ability. So stealing it, using it, that's the secret. Whereas this bad boy, the Phoenix, that guy does damage a ton of damage there. As the Sage is trying to charge forward, is trying to steal that Qinglong here, but Chemo's control, very nice, pulling back away from this, but it looks like he might get caught out here. Look, the Sage, nope, never mind. The Sage is not busy, he's trying to steal it, and he does get sniped down. Great control there from Chemo, great awareness of what that unit is, and 3DB says, okay, better pull back, let's think about what's next. He's still saving up favor, so the question is going to be, as he does steal one over here, the question is going to be, what is he saving favor for? He can use another Vanish here. Like, I've already said it once, but I think Vanish is going to be one of the most tricky, nasty god powers in the Chinese arsenal for the creative player. We already saw it once in this game, but he can do whatever he wants with that again. As Chemo, he's going with Fire Archers, which is a little bit interesting. Fire Archers doing 7 pierce damage per second compared to the Chuko Nu, which are doing 16.4 pierce damage per second. Plus, these do cost a little bit more, but the way that Chemo is microing this is great, because if the Chuko Nu basically, they get their... Oh god, that's damage there. They get their damage reset if they move. So if you shoot and scoot against the Chuko Nu, then they're not going to get their entire wave of damage out. So instead of it being 16.4, it's going to be more like well, divide that by 4. So he only shoots 1 arrow rather than 4 of them. Front-loaded. Yes, front-loaded is what I mean. I'm good with words. I'm not good with words. One day I'll get it right. Does he have armor shred? I don't... He's got divine damage. So that's why it all comes in from there. Divine damage. The Qinglong, right? A couple more ballet to come through. And Chemo on the move forward. As 3DB, I mean, he's sort of struggling for gold at the moment. Remember, he has gone pretty heavily into just peasants, so his gold income, his wood income is going to be a little bit slow in this game as opposed to Chemo, who's definitely been focusing on getting those Qualfu out a little bit more. Oh, does he have the archer? Oh, this one. He does have this one, yes. He has Scorching Feathers. Yes. So the Chukono every single shot is going to take down the armor of these units. I've heard that people say... I've heard that this has been tested. I swear I tested it and it felt like it was doing something, but maybe it doesn't do that much. I could be wrong on it. Like, I feel like it... On paper, like logically speaking, it makes sense that it would be quite good, but maybe by the time all of the armor is gone, the unit's already dead anyways. I'm really not sure. Now, one thing here that Chemo can grab, I believe, is he can get this technology, which is basically Shafts of Plague. A little bit worse than Shafts of Plague, but it is very, very good for those fire archers. 3DB has to garrison into this one. And we do indeed see Gong Gong on the way with 124 favor in the bank. That's going to be a lot of those Qinglongs to come through very, very quickly. Now, I guess one thing that the armor shred would be good at is taking out enemy myth units. You're just shredding the army down, effectively giving your units... what? Like, divine damage if you shoot enough times. It does make some sense, but... Still trying to push forward here. It looks like Chemo will be able to hold for the time being. I want to see a big transition into cavalry here from 3DB. I think that's going to be his best bet. I can't do math, but it looks like he's probably in Yin. So he is getting bonus damage at the moment, but he is behind champion Mythic Age techs. So he needs to wait on those techs a little bit. But after all is said and done, the game gets into this point, and it looks like the game has stabilized to some degree. Chemo's got damage. 3DB's gotten damage. 3DB, however, does still have this really big power spike. And, I mean, the question is, do you want to use it on this forward army here and just erase it? Or do you want to try and run it through the enemy base and try and kill off a bunch of economy? This Chemo's army here very much getting caught out of position. I don't think he's going to need to use that upgrade in the slightest here. Plus, as soon as he hits the next stage, his Gong Gong, his Neja gets very, very powerful. Boom, into the Neja, hero, mythic. This guy just has a burning fire trail. I mean, it looks so sick. It's so silly. It's so sick, though. And he's going to be charging for. This guy can get huge, huge value. There's another hero available to Fushi that we might be seeing in this game. If we take a look at it over here, this one right here, he is incredibly powerful if he doesn't get focused down. He does so much damage, so you've got to be a little bit careful. We do see Neja getting cleaned up, as now the Qinglongs will be joining into the fight, and Chemo has to retreat back here, and we'll be seeing a couple more getting produced. And this is basically going to mean that Chemo needs to get himself sages out. I mean, he can actually use his own 4th age hero, which he does have, Wenzong. This guy should be able to. I mean, it's gonna be able to neutralize one of these guys and have it for himself. But the other 5 or the other 4, he needs his own sages there. He's also going to be trying to get himself out his own Phoenix here to help out as well. But the natural progression, I guess, in these sorts of situations is for the game to slow down a little bit. When your opponent's got a big death ball of Qinglongs and you've got a big death ball of anti-Qinglongs, then all of a sudden no one wants to really attack. How many Kualfu has B made? I don't think he's made that many. I don't think he's made any, to be honest, like just a couple. You do see look at that damage coming in onto that front line there. Does miss it onto the archers on the back, which is where it would do the most damage there. But he'll be able to continue this fight along. One thing that's very scary here as well is if 3DB decides to use Vanish on his Qinglong and then get into range of, I mean, maybe he doesn't need to because these are so slow. He's just killing everything off. All of those Shuko Nu falling here. All the units charging in. You have to play this so very, very carefully as the player against this. Now, one secret, not even a secret, but one idea would be, okay, grab one unit and send it in. Because, you know, everyone is just using autocast on this. Until they stop using autocast, you can kind of get away with this. You send one unit in, you use it to special ability, and then it's off the table for the next 20 seconds. But look at 3DB just absolutely powering through with this unit composition here. It might be worth it to send in 2 or 3 units actually to get all of the Qinglongs out of there. But one Qinglong over here. Can we see how many heroes are out at the moment? We see a Wenzong, a couple of Pioneers to come through. Sage is getting queued up. But it looks like Chemo might be too little too late to have the answers to this crazy, powerful late game army that 3DB has created. And I mean, at this point, with all the dragons just flying over his production, like they're going to spawn out and they're just going to die. Every single one of Chemo's units is just spawning to its doom. I mean, Chemo's got himself not very many resources, no favor. He's got 60 villages. He's losing villages left, right, and center. I don't know what else he can do in this game. He's got all these buildings over here that he can build, and now we see a great flood coming through. Going to be cleaning up a bunch of caravans and a huge amount of buildings as well here. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, not that big, not that much damage, to be honest, from that great flood. But now look at these guys; they've got rock solid, 84% pierce armor, 84, just sitting here, just enjoying that. They do go down very, very quickly while they're moving, but man, rock solid is such a powerful upgrade when you're playing against, say, Norse or Greek. Or even, I mean, these guys do divine damage, so it's not that bad. They only got a 5x versus Smith units, but they are doing divine damage. Now, I don't even know if Greek heroes are that good. Like, obviously, Perseus and Bellerophon maybe are pretty good against these guys. Bellerophon does divine damage. I'm not sure if he does divine damage with his shot, but Perseus is a great counter to the Qinglong. Maybe Medusa wouldn't be a terrible idea. You freeze him in place and it's okay. Oh. We got some score in that one. Well, that was a great game there by 3DB. Like, really showing that, you know what? And Kualfu, I mean, is this the right way to play? I mean, to be honest, I think it's just a new way to play. And whenever anything new that comes in that is strong, it does take some time to work out how to play against it. Now, I already made this comment once. And I think that 3DB showed exactly why this is a thing. If you're just going to do something to go for a fast mythic, you're missing out on so much potential. Like Chemo here, he got caught with his pants down a little bit, going for a fast mythic against the Vanish kind of Taotier all in sort of thing. He lost so many villages. He did manage to stabilize in this game, probably due to 3DB maybe mismicroing a little bit later there, but 3DB just like really, really solid strategy. Great thought process in this one. Great usage of the god power, or the god bonus here, yin and yang. Just if you guys don't know, you get an extra 10% bonus economy when it's in yin, and when it's in yang, you get more 10% extra damage. So yeah, I love this strategy. Let's take a quick look at this of the statistics here on the all resource counter, and you can see that for the most part here, B's actually in front. Chemo does pull in front for a little bit here. I don't know how many Qualfa he was actually getting, but B does fall very, very far in front in this game. Nonetheless, if you guys enjoyed it, please consider following the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys in the next game.